Hey everyone, I want to talk about alcohol and your hormones. So everybody talks about hormones, my hormones are out of balance, or I have low T, or all these different hormones. And so I want to talk about alcohol in the context of your hormones and how alcohol consumption affects your hormones. So when we talk about alcohol, we're talking about wine, hard liquor, beer, ethanol has a huge effect on your hormones. So, for example, if we just talk about the consumption of alcohol in regards to blood sugar, that causes your blood sugar to really skyrocket. So, it's going to cause that really high peak and it's going to valley. Now, the reason why that's important is because anytime you have the peak and the valley, that's always going to cause a change in your stress hormone called cortisol. So one of the many jobs of cortisol, this is one, but one of the jobs of cortisol is that when your blood sugar goes too low, cortisol is called upon to bring your blood sugar back up to normal so that it doesn't become an emergency state and you don't go into coma and die if your blood sugar goes too low. So the consequence of that is that most people are drinking alcohol with their dinner or at night. Consume it in the morning, then you have other issues. But you drink it at night and you get that spike and then it crashes. And so what ends up happening is a lot of people go, hey, I feel great because I fall asleep, like that knocks me out after 2 glasses of wine. But it's what we call paradoxical sleep. So the reason why this happens is you get the peak, and then as you drop down in the blood sugar, that's when people usually get sleepy and tired. They pass out and they sleep. One of two things happens. When the blood sugar goes low enough, then cortisol is produced to bring the blood sugar back up to normal. But part of the consequence of cortisol is that it's a stimulating hormone. So that's why at 6 o'clock in the morning when the sun is up, cortisol is at its highest point because it's your sort of internal coffee maker. But unfortunately, because you consume alcohol, blood sugar drops, cortisol is produced, you're up at 3 a.m. wondering, why am I up at 3 a.m.? I just passed out for 3 or 4 hours. And this is one of the reasons why that happens. Now, another aspect of changes in hormones that happens with alcohol consumption is your thyroid. So with ethanol consumption, your thyroid output goes down with alcohol consumption. And obviously, the more alcohol, the more thyroid decreases. So this is precisely one of the reasons why if I have a female client that has thyroid issues and they drink wine 5 to 6 days a week, I'm negotiating getting that wine out of their body because that is suppressing their thyroid consumption or thyroid production, and that is part of the problem. Now, another hormone that's affected is growth hormone. So a lot of times these days people are going to growth hormone specialists or getting tested and they're like, your growth hormone's low, so we need to give you some injections of growth hormone. Now that's one strategy, but if someone is consuming wine 6 days a week, wine consumption has been shown to decrease growth hormone production because when you go to sleep, you naturally produce growth hormone. And if the quality of sleep is good, you produce a good amount of it. However, with 1 glass of wine, your growth hormone output at night goes down by about 63%. 2 glasses decreases by 81%. So pretty much if you drink wine, a glass of wine at night, you're going to halve your growth hormone output at night. And growth hormone is our lean hormone. It helps us to burn fat. So no wonder people, as they consume more wine, they get fatter essentially because you're getting thyroid production going down, which is your sort of controller of master metabolism, and your natural production of growth hormone goes down. So these are the consequences of alcohol. Now, I'm not completely against alcohol consumption. You can have it, enjoy it, but if you are having any sort of issues with sleep, or if you're having issues with your thyroid, or you're just like, God, why am I gaining so much body fat and I'm exercising and doing all the other things, well, then you got to start looking at your alcohol consumption. Until next time, eat well to feel well.